Alright, so things that I handled between recordings. I did a little bit of organizing. You can see these objects are named things now, like Mario and Pipe, and not just Sprite 1, Sprite 2, Sprite 3. And I've organized the events a little bit, which does not seem like a big deal now, but it will be when there's a lot of them. Today, I want to get Mario animated. But I'm going to start by moving backwards a little bit. I'm swapping this to just a generic player object, not the visible part. I'm going to keep the player mechanics and the player's skin, so to speak, separate. I'm going to rename this to player. And that way, if we do anything wrong with the visible part, because we're going to have to switch sprites between Small Mario and Big Mario and Fire Mario, and if we decide to add Luigi or whoever, then there's going to be some stuff getting goofed around, and I don't want that to interfere with anything mechanical like swimming or climbing. It's a bit of a balancing act to have the separation, but in my experience, it is worth the effort. So we've got the separate Mario skin. I'm gonna duplicate that animation, call it walk, and import a little walk cycle here. Make sure that loops. And one more for the road. We'll call it jump. You can guess why. Because he's Mario, he's got to jump. Now, right now, as you know, these are separate objects. The Mario skin's just hanging out there. We've got to give it a new behavior called pin. And then we'll make it so that whenever this object gets created, whenever the game first boots it up, it's going to pin itself to the player object, X and Y position. Then we set the player object so that it is invisible. Alright. Now, on the surface, it doesn't look like we've gotten very far. In fact, it looks like we're right back where we started, to the untrained eye. But now I can do all sorts of things. The first thing I'm going to do is introduce a proper keyboard object. We're going to be using the keyboard a lot. I'll probably add a controller thing too later. But right now, I'm interested in something very simple. Something very basic, but very necessary. On left pressed, Mario's going to turn around. It took 3 videos, but we're finally getting there. If you push left, he's mirrored. If you push right, he will no longer be mirrored. Now, that's not necessarily the best way to handle this, but it's the way I'm going to handle it today. Now Mario can turn around. Now, we've got all those other animations on the sprite. We need to set a condition for them to switch to those animations. So let's say the player is on the floor. And I'm going to make a separate condition for if he's not. If player is on the floor, we're going to add a sub-event. For if the player is on the floor and moving. If he is, we're going to set the animation to walk. And if the player is not moving, invert that, we're going to set the animation to stand. And if the player is not on the floor at all, or in the air, we set the animation to jump. Now, some games have separate animations between jumping and falling. Mario did not. Now, you see, I screwed up here somewhere, and we're going to have to figure out where. The animation almost works, but the walk, I did something wrong with the walk cycle. And I see what it is. One of the anchor points is in the wrong spot. All of the anchor points are in the wrong spot. Alright. Now it should be good. Oh yeah. I'm not sure that's exactly right. His walk looks a little bit off to me, but it might just be because of the acceleration. He's just accelerating straight from 0 to 100. And I don't think this is the same speed he went at in the original Mario. That's the kind of thing I'm going to have to do more analysis for. I can't tell you exactly off the top of my head how fast he's supposed to accelerate, or even how high he's supposed to jump. But this is pretty good for now. Like, this is definitely better than it was. He feels like an actual character now. He jumps, he runs, and I think that's ball game, folks. That's clean, fast, and easy. I can do it, and God knows if I can do it, you can probably pull it off too. Don't know what I'm gonna do next time. An enemy would be logical, like a Goomba. But I also think breakable bricks could be fun, showing that off. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Like and subscribe. Thank you and good night.